Hello everyone, welcome to episode number 5 of BeginnersC++, and today we are going to be talking about the order of operations in C++. I also apologize for kind of the quality of my last video. I'm not going to go and remake it, and the reason why is honestly I hate the content in that video. I really don't like IOmanip. I know how to use it fairly well. I've used it a decent amount, but it's really not my favorite library. So this one is going to be a lot more clear, it's going to be a lot more concise, and hopefully it'll be pretty short because this isn't exactly crazy difficult topic matter. So let me get rid of the IOmanip library in our includes, and I will keep it in CMath. So in mathematics, we have the order of operations. And the order of operations in mathematics is PEMDAS. But it actually breaks down like this. P, E, M/D, A/S, L, T, R. So parentheses always come first, exponents always come second, multiplication and division are handled on the same priority, addition and subtraction are on the same priority, and it's handled left to right, meaning that if there's an addition on the left and an addition on the right, you handle the one on the left first. So that being said, it breaks down pretty easily, and in C++ it's actually remarkably similar. You have P, there is no E, you have M/D and A/S, and as usual it goes LTR. So with exponents, those are a function of the CMath library. So with that being said, let's look at some examples. And in case the first homework assignment wasn't already very clearly, given away at this point, this lesson is just going to completely hand it to you. Let's do 6 times 7 plus 8. Now, in this case, we do something like that, and what we would expect to see here is 42 plus 8 is equal to 50. So we give this a run, and sure, as the sun shines at 1:36 in the morning, it's 50. So we can kind of see how that works, but what happens if we do set of parentheses in here? Oh, good. That's great. Thanks for popping up that right now, TechSmith. So we do that, then we have 6 times 15 is what we'd expect to be 90. Okay, same thing. We get exactly what we expect. Now, the problem that I see a lot of people running into is they do a lot of this, where they take one variable, something like, let's just say like int, I don't know, actually we need a double for this, and we'll just call it double my number, because I don't have anything really good in mind right now. But let's just say like they do something crazy like this. They end up with like 9 sets of parentheses, and they do like 9 times 4 plus 7 minus 6 divided by 2 plus 1. And they go the whole way out, multiplied by 3 plus 11. And when this doesn't give them exactly what they want, they wonder why. And they go through and they try to debug it, and they spend all this time trying to get this exactly perfect, exactly the way they want it. But the reality is, I mean, you can do that, and that's valid. I mean, you can absolutely do that and then output it right here, and C++ will let you do it. Now, there's 3 reasons why I don't like that, and apparently the answer is 68. That I did not know because I wasn't doing it in my head at the time. But assuming that that's correct and it is 68, you know, somebody who comes through after you and sees this, they have no idea what's going on. And then they have to go and they have to break out a pen and paper. But realistically, you're not going to be doing this with numbers. You're going to be doing this with variables. So if each of these is a variable, you know, and I've seen people do this where they do int I equals 1, comma, j equals 5, comma, k equals 4. And they go through and then they do this. They do I, j, k, you know, and they do it the whole way across. So I get this thing, you know, by the end of it, where I have 5 or 6 letters being multiplied together, and I have no idea what they mean. I have no idea what they stand for. I have to go back earlier and reference it in the code, and it's a mess. Meanwhile, the more sensible way that I find to do this, let me turn these back into its initial values, is to break this down into multiple parts, because number one, it's easier to read. And honestly, I think that the biggest thing that kills people when it comes to coding is it sort of becomes a competition in how few lines of code can I do this. And don't get me wrong, compact programs are amazing. You know, the less code there is to look at, the better in some cases. But you need your code to read like a story. You need it to make sense to somebody who's just looking at it at a very base level. So what might make more sense to do here is to do something like double my number, and then let's do equals 0, 0.0. And then you can do my number plus equals 9 times 4, you know, and then you can go down and you can do all these one at a time, plus equals 7, you know, and then if you're doing this with variables, at least I don't have to try to figure out, you know, going through and clicking each individual set of parentheses. And sometimes people will have the gall of going in and, you know, it's not even this straightforward. They'll have a set of parentheses here where they do, you know, I minus k minus 6, and it gets to be too much. You know, where you're sitting there with one statement and it takes you 10 minutes to try and figure out what's going on. So, you know, if you can, you know, declare a number and then break down your individual parts if it makes sense to do so. I mean, I find that if you're nesting more than 3 sets of parentheses and it's possible for you to break it out into individual statements, or even 2 set, like say you have 4 sets of parentheses. If you do 2 sets of 2 parentheses, it still makes a lot more sense than trying to go through 4 sets of parentheses and try to figure out what's going on. So that all said, the one thing that I wanted to kind of leave this with is a mention on functions. And you know, we have POW that we've used in the past. So let's do something like this. We know that that's 36 plus 7 is going to be 43. So if we take 43 and raise it to the second power, I actually don't know that off my head, but we'll do something like this. See out. Let's say POW 43, let's set up one more set of parentheses here. POW 43, comma 2. So 43 raised, or I should use my double. So 43 raised to the second power, and then let's just do plus 3, you know, something like that. Now, what I can tell you, oh, I said my double and not my number, is that this power operation is going to come first. So it evaluates left to right. So it goes left to right, sees that there's something being called here, and then there's a parenthesis. So this thing that's invoking the parentheses gets executed first. So functions are kind of the missing letter that we didn't have up here. So functions are going to get executed where they stand with a very similar uh, priority to parentheses because they contain parentheses. So that being said, if we just get rid of that, add an endl here, we'll give this a run, and we get 1852. I don't exactly know my 43 tables, but that seems about right since 40 squared is 1600. So, okay, we have made it to the end of this lesson. The homework that I want you guys to complete is fairly simple. Allow a user to input 3 numbers and take the 3 numbers they enter and using parentheses output 3 different values using addition and multiplication only. So that shouldn't be very difficult. I mean, from a mathematical standpoint, there's, you know, only a few options there. So this is probably going to be our last episode where we talk about simple statements. Next episode, we're going to start getting into ifs and conditions and Boolean variables and so forth. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to post them below. Head over to the Beginners CPP forums. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit me up if you need any help. See ya.